Welcome back to patreon.com/the Derrick Lamon Experience, your one-stop shop for your sports, film, television, gaming news. This is The Last Word. Of course, this airs Sundays at 2 p.m. on the Patreon and then Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on the free feeds. If you want the early access, you got to be a patron. You also get exclusive audio and video all in one. And I'm expanding the Patreon, bringing on family and friends and stuff like that. We're just having a good old ball over here. So you guys should come on over and check it out. Subscribe. Again, that's patreon.com/the Derrick Lamon Experience, patreon.com/the Derrick Lamon Experience, and that'll be in your episode notes. There's a link there. Today, I want to talk about something really quickly that plagued me. I was talking about it on TikTok. After a couple of weeks, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is driving me crazy. How is The Last of Us on HBO Max going to piss Derrick off tonight? Now, I understand television is a different medium than video games. Truly, I do. Truly, I do. But when you have a story as compelling as the one that Neil Druckmann and Haley Gross and all these people contributed to, Bruce Straley, who created the first Last of Us game, when you have these stories and the backbone's already there, the skeleton's already there, the source material is already there, why do you have to make such drastic changes? And not just myself. Everybody's like, why are you being so upset? I was like, because they've literally made Dina stronger, which I had no problem with. I think Isabel Merced did a fucking phenomenal job as Dina. So hats off to her. Young Mazino, I wasn't upset his portrayal of Jesse. I just think that the way that they portrayed it is like, how can Ellie ever forgive herself? Because he's out here because of you, but also when Jesse gets to Seattle, he and Ellie are going at it basically. Then they added this whole thing about I could never love her the way you love her, and I was in love with somebody else, truthfully, and like, it's like they're giving it levity, they're giving more to the story, they're giving exposition. It's like, are they really? Or are they just fucking with something that was already good? That's the question. You know what? I'm certainly not above reproach. So the way you view it and accept it can be completely different than I do. It's art, so it is subjective, right? So I view it one way, you may view it another way, but I've seen the comments and a lot of people online seem to view it this way. And I'm never one to go to bat with the keyboard warriors. This one's just very interesting. So I say all that to say this. Dom the Bomb, shout out Dom. That's at Dom the Bomb YT on Twitter. I'm not going to call it X. Kiss my ass. It's a statement from Craig Mazin, quote, "We kind of fucked ourselves with The Last of Us HBO Season 2 and amidst mistakes were made and lessons were learned." Well, what do you mean? Second season comes with so many expectations, and we did learn a lot of lessons. And the problem with learning lessons is then you have to be accountable to those lessons. You're not allowed to make those mistakes anymore, which is tragic. You do feel the pressure to somehow fulfill what people want, but also surprise them. You're now a topic of discussion. Whereas before you were just new and surprising. I mean, the bar for video game adaptations was pretty low. We had that going for us in season 1. Now we kind of fucked ourselves. Yeah, because you changed so much that did not need to be changed. So fucking much. I know the biggest conversation when Joel gets killed when the game release was, no, this is bullshit. Naughty Dog is going woke. It's like, they killed the guy. How are they going to work? Well, Joel would have never got killed. Wait, what? Joel would have got killed in the hotel in the first game had Ellie not shot the guy in the head. Joel would have died when he impaled himself at the university had Ellie not nursed him back to health. And let's be completely honest with you. I don't know if you can, in a post-apocalyptic world where there are no hospitals or anything like that, I don't know if Joel doesn't die. I don't know how a 13-year-old girl brings this guy back to life. I have a almost 12-year-old. Let me tell you, if that happened to me, she's going to try to save me, but I just don't think she has the capacity and wherewithal. Just being completely honest with you. Joel shouldn't have survived that. And that's why I was listening. Colin Moriarty does knockback with his brother Dagan Moriarty. And he said that when he was at IGN reviewing the original Last of Us and they got to that portion, Naughty Dog was very specific in telling them, don't mention this in your review. Because when it happens to Joel in the game, when you play for the first time, you're like, holy shit. So, and then the screen goes black, and then you pick up as Ellie in the winter hunting with the bow. You're like, fuck, is he dead? Like, how is she out here surviving? And then Ellie goes back to the house into the basement to, take care of him. It's like, oh, he survived and she's taking care of him. And really, that's one of the biggest crux of the conversation. Ellie being so mad at Joel for pulling her out of that hospital. You saved his life, and you guys have traveled around the country for a year with each other. Like, yeah, he lost his daughter, so you became his surrogate daughter. But again, he could have lost his life, and you nursed him back to health. So I don't know why Ellie would think that, well, you should have let me fucking die in there. Okay, you could have let me die after, University of Colorado, or I think it was Colorado State or whatever in the game, right? Anyway, that's not the point. Fact of the matter is this. Everybody was bitching. There's no way Joel would have done that. There's no way Joel would have given up his name. Keep in mind, he did not give up his name. Even in the game, Tommy yelled his name. And then Abby, was like, Joel, holy fuck. This is motherfucking Joel. This is the motherfucker that killed my dad. And then when they get back to the lodge where the wolves were hiding out, yeah, we're just from a place right up about an hour up the road. Okay, yeah. Hey, my name's Joe. Hey, I'm Mel. I'm Jordan, whatever. Oh, I'm Tommy. And this here's my brother Joel. And all the ears perk up. Wait, what? Y'all act like y'all heard of us or something. That's because they have. Tommy gave up Joel's name in both instances. No, actually, Joel did tell Abby his name. I take that back. I'm Joel. This is my brother Tommy. He did not know that he was staring at his killer when he did that. He didn't know. So give him a little bit of grace. Plus, they had been in Jackson for... Ellie was 13 at the beginning of the first game, so she's like 19 in this game. So she, by the time, because the first game takes a full year, so she's 14. So we're talking, they've been there for 5 years. He's had a warm meal. And even though he has to heat up his water and stuff like that, he's had hot baths and he has a bed to sleep in and a place he can call his home that he goes to every night. That'll soften you up. When you have a huge wall that keeps infected out and stuff like that, yeah, they had lights. They were pretty fucking comfortable in Jackson. And everybody shared in the work and everybody did their part. So yeah, Joel was softened up a bit. Plus, he's like 60 at that point, I believe. I have to do the math. I don't feel like doing the math right now. That's not the point. So I myself, and I know a lot of other people felt like this, they heard so much chatter from people saying, Joel wouldn't have done that. This is bullshit. Joel wouldn't have done that. Yeah, well, there's a bunch of shit Don Vito Corleone wouldn't have done, but he fucking did it, didn't he? All right. So they painted themselves in a corner with that because Joel died and it was probably like the most controversial thing ever. So they felt like they had to fix that in the show. So Joel doesn't fuck himself over. Let's put Dina with him instead of Tommy and give Tommy this moment of saving the town. Let's also create this backstory for Eugene that's completely different than what we already have. Gail was apparently supposed to be in the game already, but they took her out. So they shoehorned her back into the TV show. There was some stuff that was supposed to happen in the game and they had to cut it. So some of that stuff ended up in the show, and that's fine. But to drastically alter the way things went down, I'm not here for that. And they did fuck themselves. Having Mel give Dina a shot instead of it being Tommy and Tommy getting knocked out. And I'm not a fan of Abby telling Joel, I'm going to kill you and this is why I'm going to do it. That was the big payoff. When you got to the portion where you take over as Abby and Abby wakes up from that nightmare, because at first we're just like, who is this buff ass blonde girl with this ponytail? Why is she killing Joel? What the fuck is going on here? Somebody talk to me. Tell me what's going on. And then you go through all 3 days of Seattle as Ellie to figure out. Just to figure out. And then Abby wakes up from the nightmare and we find out, oh, the surgeon was her dad and Joel killed her dad. That was the payoff. That was the fucking payoff. You can't give us the payoff in episode 2 when you have a whole nother season. So while the shot of Abby walking out into the stadium and looking over everything, yeah, that's cool. but you killed the payoff. Because if you haven't played the game and you don't know why Abby did this, you find it out that soon. It's like, okay, well, she's justified. Why do I need to keep watching this show? Why do I need to keep watching it? Because he killed her father, so she's in turn killing him. She's justified. I'm not advocating for killing at all. Let me be very fucking clear about that. It's a post-apocalyptic world, and there essentially are there not even essentially, there are no laws. It seems Jackson has bylaws and things like that, which weren't discussed in the game, but in the TV show we see this town council and all this stuff. But it's the wild, wild west all over the fucking world. It's the wild, wild west all over the fucking world. There are no laws. So yeah, Abby was completely justified. I'm not saying she was right, but there's justification there. The best part about it was we're just like, this girl killed Joel. We're going to kill this girl. But who is this girl? And then when Abby has that nightmare and you see that it's her dad that Owen and Manny are crowded around on the floor, and it's like, oh, I get it. I totally get it now. And they took that away from us. And they made Ellie extremely plucky, and Ellie's very fucking dark in the second game. In the game, Dina's like, Ellie, I think I'm pregnant. And she's like, why the fuck didn't you say something? I don't want to be a burden. Well, you're a fucking burden now. TV show. Ellie, I'm pregnant. So I'm going to be a dad? What was that about? What was that about? You make Ellie super plucky and you turn Jesse into almost a villain-like character. And then this whole Eugene thing, and instead of, could they not just, you couldn't create, like, you couldn't do any, like, you couldn't have a moment where you're like, we need to shoot the hospital scene over and put Abby there. I'm sorry, no, because they did do that, because Abby's like, if you walk down there, you know what you're going to see. She's having a nightmare, like, okay, so you had the wherewithal to film an Abby hospital scene. Why couldn't you send Ellie back to the hospital to find out that Joel lied to her? I love Joey Pants. But giving us this Eugene character and saying, oh, this is how Ellie knows that Joel's lying, because he looked at her the same way he looked at Gail when he lied to Gail about why he killed Eugene. See, that's the problem. Now, I understand why Shimmer and Alice survived, because you can't be killing a dog and a horse on fucking HBO, even though it's HBO. I don't know what happened on Game of Thrones. Pyle Mai got killed on The Sopranos. We didn't see it, but we literally saw Shimmer step on the landmine, and then Dina and Ellie getting blown off of Shimmer, and then the guy coming up and putting a bullet in Shimmer's head. And you have to stab Alice to get through the aquarium. So we saw that. We lived that. We did that. So I get why, like, PETA would have been all over that shit. So I understand why they didn't do that. But I'm looking at the other corners they cut. If you had the wherewithal to put Caitlin Deaver in that hospital hallway, you're telling me you can't have Ellie go back to that hospital to find out that Joel lied to her? They cut corners. So they really backed themselves into a fucking corner. I don't know when production starts on season 3. And another thing, Caitlin Deaver found out that she's the star of season 3. How the fuck did Caitlin Deaver not know that? My thing is this. If you're not a gamer, it's fine. You know somebody that has a fucking PC or a PlayStation, right? PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. When you took the role, did you not stop like, hey, maybe I should play this game? Or guess what? There's a lot of people who stream and play video games. Maybe I should check Twitch or YouTube and see what the fuck happens to my character. So this is a whole big rigmarole about Abby and Caitlin Deaver is the star of season 3 of The Last of Us. No shit. Anybody that's played the fucking game knew that was the deal. Like, what are we doing here? So Craig Mazin says, yeah, we kind of fucked ourselves. Yeah, you kind of fucking did. And now television doesn't move the way it used to. The kids from Stranger Things were literal kids when that show started. Millie Bobby Brown is a married woman now. And we're just now getting the end of Stranger Things. And it ain't like we had 16 fucking seasons of Stranger Things. I think there's only like 5 or 6 or something like that. Because television doesn't move the way it once used to. Right? I was on Reddit, and I'm in the 90210 subreddit. I was like, You guys give me some reasons why a modern version of 90210 would never work. And somebody was like, number one, because cell phones, and then number two, because of the way TV seasons work now, they would take too long for the next season to come. When we were kids, once school started, we knew your TV shows were coming back around. They used to do this thing, and it always happened to occur the weekend that we went school shopping for clothes and stuff when we were a kid. You come home on Friday, and before TGIF started, they would show you the new fall cartoon lineup, and they give you like essentially these little demos of the new cartoons that were coming for Saturday mornings. You got your clothes, and you know Labor Day's coming, and you got the cartoon demos, and that's how. And then the school year started, and that's when your TV shows started over again. These shows are coming 6 episodes at a time, 7 episodes at a time. It just isn't the same. So whatever their plan was, whatever their shoot schedule was, and I don't know. Obviously, the other actors probably have prior arrangements. They're gonna have to do something. This season needs to come back quicker, definitely quicker than season 2 came. You know, the turnaround for season 2 to season 1. That season 3 of The Last of Us needs to be debuting like next summer. Because I don't know why. The crazy thing is, like, I remember when I found out that Superman 1 and Superman 2 are being shot at the same time. I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, that's why Superman 1 and 2 are so different from Superman 3 and 4, because 1 and 2 are Richard Donner films, and 3 and 4 are just, I don't remember who shot those, but they're completely different, right? The tone is way off and everything. If you already know what's going to happen because you have the source material, why didn't you just shoot that shit at the same time? I don't know. That's all I got. But I'm just really like Craig Mazin. It's cool that you admitted it, but we all looked up like they're out of their fucking minds. And this is going to be a fucking unmitigated disaster. And now they see the backlash from the community and stuff like that. If people just watch the show and that's their only reference, then of course it doesn't affect them the way it affects the people who did play the game. And I am one of those people. So it is what it is. I don't know. That's all the time I got for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this like I end everything else. Believe in yourself first and foremost, because if you don't believe in yourself, of course, nobody else will believe in you. As always, my name is Derrick Lamon Jackson, and that is my time. You'll have a good one. Peace out.